I'm gonna put Discworld on the TBR because somebody because there's not a cat, there's a dog cohort in there, and so um, you know I'm more of a dog guy myself. Sorry, Donut, but
What?
yeah, we've got three, and one of them is like mine, and like he's grumpy. Like how they say sometimes dogs like emulate the personalities of
Mm-hmm.
like their people. This dog emulates my personality, and so if any like neighbor kids come over that I'm annoyed with, he's immediately mean to them. And it's like I'm like, no, we have to control ourselves and be nice to the neighbor kids that are messing up our house. But he catches on to my emotions like really really well, and so but I am appallingly more of a dog guy than a cat guy.
Appallingly.
Yes, but anyway, so Discworld is on the TBR,
Okay.
Do it.
and I'm hoping that we could get someone who could actually confirm or deny the dungeon crawler Carl, because I keep everybody that I talk to is looking for. I know it's not going to be dungeon crawler Carl, but I want to have I want to have I need like a carbon copy of this so I can try and recreate some of the enjoyment I got from this series. But I don't think that any of the lit RPGs that are out there are good comps for Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Not really, no.
Like I've read so many of them, and like I enjoy them, I like them, but yeah, I don't get the same vibe that I get off of Dungeon Crawler Carl. So
It's pretty unique.
it is.
Yeah.
It is in that. And so I guess that's why it's so popular. So I got a new fan cast. I don't know if you saw this on the outline, but somebody said that this was like more than just a more than how do I get back to sources? More than just a like an ish. Do y'all know who Noah Centennial is?
Yes.
No.
He's from like a bunch of rom-coms, like recent
Oh,
ones.
that's probably why I don't watch rom-coms, so.
Which one did you
I'll read it, but watching it gives me the ick.
Watching the romance.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'll read it all day long, like because it's in my head and I can control the narrative. But like watching it on like a Hallmark type setting, just like I'm like,
Yeah.
Cringe.
You just
He
can't
was
do it.
in To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Did you guys watch that?
No.
It was
I didn't either. I looked at it. He's like
Who are they fan casting him for?
Carl.
Carl.
Oh, for Carl? What's his name?
Noah. It's not a fan cast. I think
I'll Google it later.
He's been thrown out as like a studio, like part of the studio discussion. So I don't know that if that's a real thing. I'm still never
Giving up hope for Jensen.
Oh my god.
not ever like
Oh.
there's no one that's gonna be able to say God damn it donut and like give me the
He
same
would kill
amount.
that line.
There's and like being annoyed and like he's gravelly
Mhm.
and like
Oh, I know it.
he's got some of that in him that I just think is I don't know that anyone is going to live up to the audiobook version vocally.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just love how deeply in your like marrow that you feel this.
I don't see anyone
my
else.
favorite
He would be a
thing.
really good
No,
pick.
you really don't understand. It's my favorite thing.
I watched every episode of Supernatural, like all of them, and it's like one of my embarrassing.
You're in love with
things about-
Jensen a little?
I mean, if I had a man
Who
crush
isn't?
in this world, it would be Jensen for sure. Because he can also do funny. you know, and
No,
like,
okay. Has anyone? Sorry, I'm kind of in a FIFA mindset right now. But has anyone here seen Ted Lasso?
Yes.
I love Ted Lasso.
I
Okay,
haven't.
so do you know when the team is talking about Zava,
Yes.
and then Colin's like, "All right, guys, you've convinced me. I'll sleep with Zava." That's how you sound talking about Jensen Ackles.
You know, I don't know that my love for Jensen Ackles will ever make an impact on the actual casting decision, but just let me know what I need to do, okay?
Oh my god, I love it so much.
And you know, we get. Look, I think for the series, it's going to be difficult for anybody to live up to the audiobook performance, and
Oh, 100%.
like all of my thoughts surrounding it, everything is going to be compared to that. Like everything is going to
Every audiobook listener is going to be doing that for
through
sure.
that
Yeah.
lens is, did it achieve a similar but different emotional response to the audiobook performance? And
Yeah.
I think Jensen can do it. I don't know. I don't want to end up in another like bad carbon copy situation of The Witcher again. I didn't like that at all. Another man crush of mine there, like the original Witcher was just.
Oh yeah.
I won't
Yeah,
look.
that
I
one.
have yet to watch the Imposter season. I refuse to give Netflix that streaming. I just won't do
I
it.
haven't either. I don't want a Timu
I'm
Carl.
not doing it.
I don't
give a
want a
shit
Timu
about-
Carl. I don't want a Timu Carl. I can't
First
handle
off-
a Timu Carl.
First off, Miley Cyrus's ex-husband has pissed me off since the Hunger Games, so I don't.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
can't. Okay. Speaking of which, did anybody also get emotionally destroyed on July the 4th by Lionsgate? Because I did.
What happened? I'm sorry.
Not sure what you're referring
I've
to.
been on the boat for 6 days straight. Like the
They
kids have worn me out.
released a Sunrise on the Reaping trailer because Reaping Day is July the 4th.
Oh.
And it's also Hamish's birthday.
Ooh.
I have
Bro,
not
yeah,
seen
if you've
it.
read Sunrise on the Reaping, it was not a fun time. It was not a good trailer. It was a great trailer, but I also cried for like a solid hour.
Whoever did that casting needs to do the Peacock casting for Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty good.
worry that Peacock's going to have the budget for this.
Okay.
They have to have the
but-
budget for it if
but-
they want it to be successful. They're
but
going to
hear
have to
me
make it
out.
work.
They don't have to
Twisted
make us
Metal
happy.
came
They
out
can piss
good.
us all off, and it's not hard to do. Like
But hear me out. If you're a fan of I don't know if you watch Twisted Metal, but that's been done really, really well. And I have genuine faith that the people at Peacock know that they cannot fuck this up. They've seen what's happened to Amazon and what's happened with the whole like Rings of Power situation, and they cannot lose that money. It has to succeed. So I have a strong feeling that hopefully they get the people working on Twisted Metal also involved with Dungeon Crawler Carl, because I think it will go very well.
there's so many ways to do it right, and there's so many ways to do it wrong. I just don't. I don't know how we're doing. And your smoking sensation has flagged our
I saw-
our live. And we now have a warning: consuming substances featured in this live could harm your health.
It's telling me that, and I'm drinking like sparkling water.
Oh, I guess my iced coffee is safe.
You never know.
Yeah, you don't know what's in the iced
Oh
coffee.
well, no, you have no idea how many times I've had to appeal videos because they flagged me for being under 18, and I'm like, I'm 37.
If I say
37.
and got
That's
a
a
little hair
compliment.
dye, I can do it. Yeah, it is good. It is good. Yeah, I'm not. They don't think I'm under 18, which now I'm sad. I didn't realize that you could get flagged for that. But
I didn't either.
yeah, no,
Yep.
not on my radar, unfortunately. So they had They made some comments about Donut's CGI adaptation, and I was wondering, like, okay, so do y'all remember the Sonic Hedgehog debacle with CGI?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and how we all bullied Sony into correcting their mistake. Yes.
Okay, so like that was more of a cartoonish interpretation of the visuals. And so the question becomes for the Dungeon Crawler Carl live action, when we're thinking about picturing how we want Donut to look, like, how do they get this right? Because you can get focus groups and you can do, until you, like, I'd almost put it out to the fan community and be like,
What do you think?
what do you think? And then
Mm-hmm.
let everyone respond to what they hate, and then redesign the character around the fan response. And if everyone's like, I love it, then you roll. But like the trailer for Sonic saved that. I mean, now we're on Sonic like 3 or 4. Like,
Yeah.
you know, with the, like, I watched the one where like there's 90 Jim Carrey or you know the, like,
I think that's Sonic 3.
yeah, Dr. Robotnik. You know, I guess that's 3, but we're on a multi movie franchise now that's been, you know, fairly successful. And if you went back and they released it the way they originally had it,
It would have flopped so hard.
Oh yeah.
it wouldn't even, it would have been a one and done and hurt the
No one
careers
would have
of
watched
every,
that.
hurt the career of every actor involved. Yeah, it would have been real bad. So
Well,
I'm
and
still
the
holding
thing
out hope
is-
there's going to be like a puppet donut. I'd
Well,
rather
the
have
thing-
puppets.
Yeah, as long as it's not like Sabrina the Teenage Witch Salem type shit, I think I'll be okay. But like,
which Sabrina, the new one or the old?
no,
like,
the original, baby,
The old
original
one.
yeah,
Their
I
puppets have
remember.
come a long way.
Anyway, but like, so here, I'm so glad you had your point, because like, if you think about it, that's honestly the most brilliant way to do it. Matt has collaboratively done so much with the fans for this series through his Patreon that I think Peacock has the opportunity to do the smartest thing ever and make the production collaborative with the fans
All
by
right.
doing exactly what you say.
And how about this? If I'm Matt, and as anti-capitalist as he is, dude's good at making money. I announce that I'm putting up a fan vote on my Patreon, and if you've subscribed to my
yes.
Patreon, you can vote for, and this is how we're gonna test it out. Here's four different options for the donut look, and you get to vote on my Patreon if you're a subscriber. How much money does he make just letting everyone make the right decision for the live action series? And
I think his Patreon's already overloaded.
and I think that the fan community in general would appreciate, like, just we've got 4 different like ideas for how this is going to look, and if everyone knows that the Patreon fans, which are the most loyal fans, of Deneman, were able to have input and choose what the final look for Donut was going to be like, that the overall loyalist community would accept what comes out on TV better.
Yeah, that's a good point. We got to vote.
You gotta say, and like, you can't get much better than that with input. And I think it would be a good hype thing for the TV show. Also, like, I think that helps on what people's expectations are going to be. So
Are you guys on his Patreon?
Yeah.
Did you guys vote for Mordecai's 12th floor form?
Yes.
What did you vote for?
Skyfowl.
Oh no.
I just feel like it's gonna
voted
give you that
for-
emotional heartbreak, you know.
That I was like, I hope that's always been my thing. Like, every time we've gotten to a new floor, I'm kind of like, man, I hope he gets to be his true form at least one more time.
Didn't he get to? He was a bird in what book?
He
But
mentioned
it
like
wasn't
being
the
one in a
right
previous
kind.
crawl.
I thought he was in one of the books. He was like a bird, but not the same kind of bird. Like
Yeah, it
same
wasn't the right
kind.
kind.
Was it
But
on
it
the
was
Yeah.
close, and he
surfboard?
felt like it felt pretty natural. And he did alchemy, and Carl was like, "How do you do alchemy with the wings?" And he's like, like he made a comment about that. I don't remember which one that was, but
What
I want to
did
say
you guys vote for?
5.
What?
Oh, what did you guys vote for?
I'm voting for Skyfall.
I voted for Catboy.
I knew you were gonna say Catboy.
I just feel like it would be so funny with Donut. Like
I
could
bet you
just
Catboy's
picture
gonna.
him
I haven't
on
been
the
on in a
bar.
while. It's got to win.
that would
Okay,
create
like-
that would create some strange sexual
Some
tension
tension.
in the. in the
But like, there's part of me.
I don't
There's
know.
part
She
of me.
hates. She hates. Wait, she hates cat people.
She would hate
She
it.
does.
She would.
But
hate
like,
it,
there's
you're
part
right.
of me because I have that like '90s nostalgia that wants a cat dog version of this so bad, so badly.
Well, I mean,
Just so I can-
Carl already
Dog
got to
tie.
be. He already got
just
to
so
be a dog.
Donut can sing the little theme song. I think she would do a great rendition
Mm.
of the cat dog theme song. Personally,
I don't know. I am not on the Patreon.
No.
No, I'm not. Surprisingly, but you guys are bringing me deeper into the Dungeon Crawler Carl fandom than what I am naturally. Like, I like the books a lot, and I like the engagement. And I really like the people who like the books because I feel like there's so many cross-genre readers that we're overlapping the Venn diagram of Carl, Dungeon Crawler Carl, with all of the other reader genres out there have inspired people to read different genres than what they originally did. Me included. Speaking of, we have a new genre coming in, and I've never done a romantasy book. And starting this week, I am going to read my first romantasy book. And it's because not of anything. If without Dungeon Crawler Carl, I would not
Never
be
would
reading
have happened.
Night of the Mop. I would not have done it because. And so this is what we have created is something where we're all expanding our genres because we become friends with people who came from different genre backgrounds, and we wouldn't have been friends without Dungeon Crawler Carl. And so I think it's a really neat phenomena, and I am happy to be a part of it. So yeah, you guys have inspired me to broaden my horizons.
Well, I hope you like it. I haven't read it yet, but
I will like it more than I like Katabasis.
I like the other book Rachel Gillig wrote. So
I've heard a lot of people have like from what I've looked at and read have said that this author is very tasteful in what she does and is a very talented writer. And so I am excited, and I say that sincerely, to go on this journey with you guys. And so
at what point can we get him to alchemize? That's
I see it.
I
on
haven't read that. I don't really
everyone's
plan on reading that.
it would take us agreeing on, like, again, this is like push and shove, because after that we're going Joe Abercrombie Devils, and so
again. I add to the list the Library of the Unwritten. Please Google it. I promise it's worthy.
I mean, our TBR for the club is gonna continue on.
Outrageous.
I'm excited about it. The one thing that I do kind of want with the club is to be finding stuff almost that none of us have read. So like we're all getting to experience it together. I really enjoy getting to experience new things together. And I love posting about books whenever I'm not finished with them so that I can look back at some of my reactions where I misread things that were about to happen. I'll be honest, I didn't think that like that kind of said that Peter died in the Escher trap, but I didn't like think he died in it. I couldn't tell. She was being dramatic and like in the telling of
We
it.
love
Like,
an unreliable narrator.
I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
I'll get to that. I'm not going to drive into Katabasis. Well, I don't know. It's about time. Is it about time? Okay, but I guess it's about. Oh wait. I wanted to get y'all's another thing. I want to add a Stephen King book to the TBR of the book club because the third book in the Talisman series is coming out. This is a
He's writing a
long-
third book?
It's coming out this fall. Okay, so you
I
have
didn't even know.
the Talisman, you had Black House, and this is
Mhm.
firmly in the fantasy horror genre. Okay,
I love
And
the
so
Talisman.
It's heavily in the fantasy genre. It's in the same universe as the Dark Tower series, but it's not based on like it's kind of the ancillary story within the Dark Tower series, but it is in the world of the Dark Tower series. It's coming out. I think it's called A Door Between Worlds or something like that. It's coming out this fall, and the original Talisman book was
It's old.
80s, like
It's very old.
old. Black House, I think, came out in the early 2000s, and
Yeah.
this is a like 20 plus year third installment for the Peter Straub and Stephen King co-authored series in Stephen King's main fantasy universe, and so I'm very much looking forward to this book.
Well, I am now that I've heard about it.
It's a big deal if for the Stephen King fans, and if we want things to post on TikTok to get engagement, the engagement from this book is going to be significant because this is a very well beloved series, and if it sucks, everyone's going to be talking about it, and if it's good, everybody's going to be talking about it. But regardless, Stephen King, love him, hate him, or otherwise, he's got a very big fan base, and so I'm excited about this. And Kana, your brother is probably going to be excited about it. Your brother's a Dark Tower fan, right?
He is, and he's reading Throne of Glass right now. We made a deal that he reads that, and I'm gonna read the Dark Tower. So hopefully I can.
Oh, yay, Dark Tower's so good.
Throne of Glass is like a 3-book series, right?
No, it's right here.
How many
Wait.
books are in that?
8.
8.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, it's 8.
Dark Tower is here, and
Yeah, I have all those too.
there's 7, but
7.
they're chunky. They're big boys, all of them.
Do you have to tandem read any of them? Because you do
No.
Throne of Glass.
You just read.
Yeah, no, you just read through it, and like it was written.
And the
like,
gunslinger will make sense later. Like, don't be deterred by the gunslinger.
I liked the gunslinger, but
I like the gunslinger too, but it
he's-
was confusing. And as you read more, you're like, oh, that all makes sense now.
Well, and it kind of does, and a lot of people say that, I don't know that Stephen King's much of a plotter. I think he's kind of a pantser, and it's hard to put together a 7-book series that way, because the continuity requirements from it. Just with Stephen King's writing style, I feel like he's generally done well with his single book installments, his standalones. But I'm excited about this one to come out. So I'm gonna read y'all a blurb from a book, and it's from Brandon Sanderson, The Fires of December. Have y'all heard this one coming out this fall? Kana knows about it. Are you excited
Only
about this?
because
Kana?
you sent me the outline last week, and that's when I found out about it.
You kind of heard about it from that. But okay, so we've got a female protagonist, again, from Sanderson, which I feel like he wrote Ven as an interesting female protagonist. So I'm hoping that this one's going to be good. In the next Cosmere standalone novel, Hoyd has an epic tale to share. In a forgotten land sustained by colorful rivers of demon blood, a young woman named December learns a devastating plague is on its way, but who will believe her? Against impossible odds, she sets up the River Violet to warm the king's court determination and wisdom beyond her years burning in her eyes. With the chatty priestess and a fledgling fashion designer at her side, she must navigate incredulous royal officials, twisted court intrigue, and a roguish count who might hold the key to her quest and her heart. So, Brandon Sanderson got told by his publisher that he needed to write romantasy. And it's releasing this fall. So do we think Brandon Sanderson can write romantasy? How do y'all feel about the fashion
The
designer?
romance in Stormlight Archive is pretty good.
And in Warbreaker too, there's a romance plotline.
It's really light, but I think he could handle it.
I mean, he could.
Like, this is in the blurb, so like this is heavy romance signals, for the marketing of this.
I mean, I'm excited to see what he does with it. I feel like the other romance subplots he writes in other books is the grasp he has.
I reserve judgment until I read it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about men writing romance from a female's perspective?
I can't say I've ever been like disappointed by it, although I definitely read more of this stuff written by women. But I haven't come across a bad example of a man doing it.
I find that prospect incredibly intimidating to actually like go full on romance. Like, you can have romantic tension, you can write, romance-esque, but to write a full, like, emotionally driven, I promised in the blurb that this is going to be a romance book, especially from Brandon Sanderson, like, not to say, one thing or the other about him, but I'm very interested in how this lands, and I don't know how you have a fashion designer.
I would guess it's still gonna have like some flavor of his other books, like multiple tops, probably. Like, I think maybe in this one we'll see romance take more of like a center stage.
But it's a standalone.
But I still feel like it'll be a Sanderson book with an epic plot, tons of characters. Just maybe the romance is more critical to the story than it ever has been.
Yeah. It'll be good.
I'm interested to find out and see what that reaction is. So we'll keep. I've got it on record and on recording now of what we think of this book, and so we'll have to come here in I don't know, 5 months when this thing comes out, or 4 months when this thing comes out. We'll have to see what everyone's reactions are and go back to the clips and see if we were right. Okay, so final recap. Katabasis. What happened in the end? We got 2 conclusions. One conclusion of the exciting subplot, and then we got a conclusion of the whole book. So we had kind of 2 conclusions, I feel like, because I don't know. I still don't know who do y'all think the main antagonist is here? Is it Grimes?
I still think it's Alice versus her little self. And then they had the crypt keys there as like something like tangible she can battle with.
And Grimes at the end,
really
we had the final confrontation in front of Lord Yama. Granted, I feel like they tried to like build up the Grimes's influence on Alice and like how he was promising her some sort of academic, transcendence. I didn't feel tempted. Like, did anyone feel like it was a plausible temptation attempt by Grimes at the end?
No.
No, I think at that point it felt pretty flat. Although I feel like at the beginning of that whole confrontation she had with him last, like she was feeling the old habits and patterns of like wanting to agree with him and wanting to see the best in him. And I just remember at that moment, I was like, oh my God. And then finally she called him a clown. I was like, whew,
Mm-hmm.
thank God. I wasn't sure.
For
I
half a
mean,
second, I was like, Alice, if you go back to your old ways, I will burn this book.
Well, I think part of like that's what like at the end of the book, looking back on the rest of the story, genuinely makes me like the book now is like if you look at it from this perspective of an abuse survivor being put in a situation confronting her abuser, how easy that decision to go
Mhm.
back would be, and the true battle is her and herself. And I
That's how
think
I viewed it.
that I think that's what at the end of the book really shifted my perspective, and I was like, oh, okay, I can recognize this pattern. I've been here before.
so what purpose did the crypt keys serve in the narrative?
So it would be
Like I
more
said, I gave her
practical.
some like tangible that she could fight against and really like show that she had the strength and the capability all along because it was just her
Like she
and she didn't
really
have
was
Peter
a good
there.
magician?
Yeah, like, oh, I can do this. Wow. That
I
kind of
just
thing.
needed to believe in myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't have
So
anyone to fall off back on.
one of the opportunities I felt like from a thematic standpoint would be that watching Alice's, and this is something that I expected to see, and I'm going to ask y'all if y'all saw it. Each court of hell that had a hold of Alice, as she went through them, was her, I don't know, personality, spirit, whatever, being purified as she went through these courts, preparing her for this final confrontation. I feel like that's how the book should have gone. You know what I mean? Do y'all feel like there
Hmm.
was any element of that, like where she had growth in that perspective, or do you feel like she was just wandering and complaining for, you know, I don't know how many pages this was, but
No, I
60% of
think
the book.
I do I do think that in a way similar to Dante's levels of hell, there was a lesson she learned in each little thing. I don't think she realized she was learning it, and I don't think as a reader we realized necessarily she was learning it, but then at the end everything kind of and I was like, "Oh."
because I feel like
Uh,
thematically, if Kwang had taken it from that angle a little bit, where we know that there's gonna like her personality defects had her making choices that were being heavily influenced by Grimes, who was the antagonist. Because I still don't. I understand that it was herself that she was fighting against to an extent, but I feel like the person we were rooting against in this book was. I can make arguments for Alice. I can make arguments for the Crypt Keys, and like what being like what I think the Crypt Keys kind of represented what Alice would have become if she gave in to Grimes, you know, where like I
Hmm.
set aside all of my humanity for the pursuit of knowledge. You know, and
Yep.
that was the argument, is to set aside your humanity for the pursuit of knowledge. And so if Alice sets aside her humanity, then she becomes the Crypt Keys, right? And
yeah.
the Crypt Keys killed Peter, you know, and symbolically, if she became the Crypt Keys, then she could not have a romantic relationship with Peter, who would have theoretically made her happy and brought her. Peter might have represented her human element. And like, if I'm really digging in and trying to be like, what was she trying to say? And what were the purpose of these things? Because I know she thought about this book really, really, really hard. But I also feel like the romance at the very end and some elements of the book were her fighting with her editor on saying, how do we make this commercially viable while still saying the things that you wanted to say? And I felt that fight in this book where like we tried to have afterthought commercial things like, and again, they're right. Like those like little things made me engage for a few chapters here and there, but I don't feel like her heart was in the romance. Like in the end, did you feel like the riding off into the sunset with Peter and the romance and all that stuff? How did y'all feel about that? Was it earned? Did she really love him? Did we ever see that other than in her actions? Feels like she forgot about the dude after he died for like 9 chapters or whatever it was before all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, I love that dude. Let's use my little flower trinket to bring him back.
It was like a huge jump when she like went all like murder crazy, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, Peter,
The
yeah."
Dialethea, I can bring back this and, you know, make my
Well,
happily ever after.
in some ways, I did appreciate the romance plot of this book because there were some elements of like the forced proximity and enemies to lovers that are like my usual stuff. Like that's the
Tropes.
stuff I love. But over the course of the book, there's just like this huge miscommunication trope that was just sitting over the story. And that is my least favorite thing in any romance book ever is when if they just like freaking talk about it, we can
Yeah.
move on. But
I felt like there was like I see where the intent lay, but I also felt like we didn't have enough building bricks for that sudden realization. Like, had she been grappling more with these feelings that she had for him while he was gone, I'd have been like, oh, it makes sense that she's doing the thing now.
I didn't
But we didn't
realize
get
I
any of
loved
that.
him until he wasn't there anymore because he
Yeah,
got,
there was none of
gutted
that. And
by
so I
evil
feel like
magicians.
yeah, I feel like if we had more building bricks that led to that moment, it would have made more sense, but it just kind of was like, "Pada!"
So if I'm separating out what her authorial intent was with this book from like where she wrote this book and she wanted to say something, and then can I sit there with a pen or a highlighter and say, Holly's here, is she gonna join? I'm gonna invite her. I don't know if she's gonna join us. She's
get over
like,
here.
oh crap, they saw
Well, I
me.
joined. I'm out.
She was scrolling. She was scrolling, and she saw that, yeah, we popped up on her feed because we're friends, and
Oh,
she's
no,
like, crap.
back out.
But going back, like I take a highlighter snooping. I knew it, girl. We want to see you. We miss you. Anyway.
Hi, Holly.
Hey girl.
Anyway, the going back to the authorial intent, I can take a highlighter and I can go through this and say the editor wanted forced proximity and forced a scene where they were under a blanket together at the very beginning. I don't know that R.F. Kuang intended for that. But she's like, oh, what if we had forced proximity at the very beginning? Okay. And then we go in and we're like, we start looking at the crypt keys and they're like, I see that you want the final confrontation to be with Grimes and Alice and her Stockholm syndrome of chasing a goal, an ideal, and a dream without knowing why you're chasing it, and sacrificing everything that you are as a human to achieve this dream and goal, and not knowing whether or not it's your dream and goal. You've like kind of, because this whole time I felt like Alice was trying to assume the fame or attach herself to things that she admired without ever becoming something that she admired. And so she was trying to overcome stealing someone else's fame or stealing someone else's significance to find her own significance in the world. And I feel like that's what Kuang kind of wanted to make this book about. But I feel like the crypt keys were almost something that I can highlight and say that there was an element of the crypt keys that was important to her narrative, but this final confrontation with the crypt keys might have not been as important to her narrative as what she did. I think the tattoo was important, but I don't fully understand what she meant. Like, I think she really had this thing with memory and not being able to forget, and that being an important part of the character. But again, all of this stuff is taking a tremendous amount of effort on me as a reader to try to understand what it's muddy, and I'm really not sure what she meant, and I want to know what she meant. But I feel like this was a fight between an author and an editor, where the author had a very well researched premise and idea, and it was just hard to turn into a book, because
Maybe that's what happened.
I don't know, like and maybe I have this wrong. Tell me if I'm like,
Sounds like a plausible explanation for why it did feel like disjointed in a way.
Yeah, I kind of get that feeling too overall, just having finished everything and all of the different things I didn't expect. Like, some of it was entertaining to read, but when I look at it like long term, try to think, why did she put that in there? Like, yeah, it's not immediately clear.
so one thing that I thought about with this at the beginning was, with her views of feminism, she was kind of making an argument both for and against the feminist perspective in the book, like throughout it. Like, and I think she made, both arguments, and Alice was the kind of contradiction of feminism in academia. And so part of what Alice did and how she was Kwong really looked at her and made her take responsibility for how she acted. So do you feel like in the end, with the whole Grimes confrontation, that Alice was absolved of her culpability and some of the evil ass shit that she planned on doing or was doing throughout the book? Or do you feel like she still owned it? Because she had some bad thoughts in this book. Some real mean stuff that she was planning on doing to people.
She still has a lot to overcome, honestly.
I'm surprised they let her out of hell, but.
But I think it was a good confrontation of her inner what's like self misogyny.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, she had to really kind of confront how she partook in her own destruction.
Sure.
And the destruction of others, and how misogyny does that to us all.
I mean, there's where she was put in these positions and maybe had an unhealthy reaction to it, but I don't know. We walk away from the final Grimes confrontation. Did the book's premise absolve her of some of her behavior as being like, I was like, the professor made me do it, or whatever, or do you feel like, because I'm trying to go to the end and I'm like, okay, what is the book's conclusion about it? And I read a lot of this, and it was a lot harder. Like, the book was so hard on Alice throughout the whole book, and I don't feel like she tried to make me like Alice. Like, I don't feel like Kwong tried to make us like Alice. Like, I don't think that.
He was very.
I didn't like it very much.
This was the least likable main character of any book that I've ever read. Where like she worked really hard to, like, especially with what she did with Murdoch, because I feel like she the whole revelation with his medical issues, and then like him dying, like I didn't know what to do after he died in this book. Like, where I kept thinking, like, no, he didn't really die. Like,
Yep.
we spent like, do I need to go back and read it? And like, I thought that they like kidnapped him and she was gonna go after him, but no, they really did. They gutted him and they drained him of his blood right there in the Escher trap. And I didn't fully appreciate that until she used the Dialethea to bring Peter back. I thought that this story was going to turn into a rescue story, which, I had no clue what was going to happen. Like, we did that last one, we were the last one that we did was right at the end of the Escher trap, and
now do you know why I was quiet the whole episode? Because
I
I
had
was
no
like,
clue what was gonna happen. Like, yeah, I mean, you were looking like
was
you
like,
read the whole book, and I was trying to guess what was gonna happen next. I had no clue. I couldn't even.
Yeah, I really didn't think he was dead. I thought she would turn around, try and save him, and she just kept on going. I was like, that's typical Alice.
That's it.
Of course, you keep going.
She found, and I don't know what what was the guy's name, the shade that was kind of,
Kratos?
Yeah. I don't know where he came from. It's like, well, we killed Peter, and now who's she gonna talk to? Like, it's like, how that happened or whatever, and how it walked into. He was like a kind of a weird stand-in. Like, I don't know, and I know that a lot of people who read literary works, the people who don't like literary works, they tell them, well, you just weren't smart enough to understand it. And I wasn't smart enough to understand it. I guess.
I don't think that was it.
I don't think that was it, because I just finished Crime and Punishment and got through that just fine, and that was easier to read. Than
I
Katabasis.
did it though. I'm proud of myself. I read the whole dang thing. I
Me
finished
too.
it.
I almost want to stop so many times.
And I don't know
I'm
if it's
so
just
happy.
me.
I'm so I've never been happier to walk down the street in my neighborhood and put a book in the free little library. I've never been happier in my life. Okay, never.
You should be ashamed of yourself for putting that on somebody else.
Spreading it to the world.
That's like just imagine the pain someone has to go through because you did that. One day someone's
not my problem anymore.
Somebody
that's
donated
the best
this
part
free
about having
book.
ADHD, babe. Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I did know. Okay. So one more thing, because I feel a little bad because I've been talking crap about this book to you. I feel like I've negatively impacted y'all's opinion of this book because I've had strong feelings about it the whole time, and I felt a little bad about that. But okay, did we get that Alice's whole plan about bringing Grimes back into this corpse and her evil little witch plan didn't work?
100%.
She tried to trap the Crypt Key guy in it.
Yeah.
And he was like, meh. Didn't work. I was in pain for a few seconds, and then I came back to fight you because it didn't work. And this was Alice is a genius, and I kept waiting. You guys said, okay, she finally accomplished something on her own. I can do it from the power within me, rah, as an individual. But I have yet to see her do something that really worked the way that she planned on it working in this book.
No, you kind of make a good point there.
Well, no. What I mean is she's overcoming personal struggles, not academic struggles. Okay, she very much not the genius she thinks she is, but she healed some on her personal journey, and we love that for her.
Yeah, she talked the love of her life into going into hell, being gutted and drained of his blood by getting caught in a trap. She did bring him back, and she used the dialethea to bring him back and negotiated only a quarter of his very short, colonless life.
Yeah.
Your eye squints are killing me, bro.
I mean, I'm sorry. He's gonna go up there and die pretty quick. Homie doesn't have a lot of time left at the end of this thing. And I'm thinking about how happy she's gonna be. We couldn't get Yama to come on, dude. He needs a new colon and less autoimmune problems.
There.
Let's not have him pooping himself to death for the very little time that we have left together. Like, let's not spend it on the potty. And like,
They basically gave him Crohn's disease, and that's not fair.
he had a short. He's had Crohn's disease in the 1980s and an extremely short life expectancy coming out of hell that he had 25% reduction on. And so they're like riding off into the sunset, and I'm like, guys, y'all's life is not going to be good. Like, I don't like. Neither of y'all have jobs. You don't have health insurance.
You're not gonna get a job because you killed your professor.
You killed your professor and your boyfriend that still likes you for some reason. And like, y'all made a pretty bad deal with Lord Yama. Like y'all and you like, you know, at least cut a deal where like, hey, we're gonna have short lives, but like, can I give him some of my life so that we like die at the same time so that we can be happy and ride off in the sunset together? Because Alice is gonna come out, Peter's gonna live like 4 more years and then die horribly of Crohn's disease, and then she's gonna be alone, and like, I don't feel like this was a happy ending when I think about it.
You know, you're really in the perspective for us.
Yo, you made my cheeks hurt.
I'm sorry. I just like, you know, you made me read it and I'm thinking about it now, and you know,
you're thinking too hard about it.
The passion.
It was a happy
passion,
ending in the
my
end.
friend. It's the passion.
Why were there butterflies on the door to leave hell? Why were there butterflies on the door? Let's go to another question that I didn't
I don't even remember that.
All right, so
This crash out was beautiful. Thank you.
Elspeth, all right, the rando that like gave a dialethea as a plot convenience at the end.
The rando.
Out of the goodness of her heart, because Alice couldn't do a dang thing right herself, gave Alice the insurmountable, like, it only works in hell magical bullet that can do any type of magic that I made a crap deal with Yama for. If I were Elspeth, I'd be pissed at her for wasting it. But she could have gotten out of hell with that. Like, but she's like, no, I'm going to jump in the river. We're going to forget all this because it was painful for me to watch. But she can turn herself into butterflies. Okay? Like, remember, like, this was a thing. I don't understand. But when you're a shade, if you can imagine yourself as something, then you can make that your physical manifestation. And she had this really cool trick she could do where she became butterflies. Okay? And so, I'm not making this up. You keep laughing. Like, this is like a magical mechanic of this book. All right?
No, I'm sorry. The princess donut style rant in which you just.
I feel like I'm verging on prepotente at this point, but
I think so.
On the door to get out, they had like a cellar door to get out of hell, right? Like that opened up into the school for some reason.
I remember this now, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Butterfly.
Yeah.
We cut the bad deal with Yama. We're on the staircase to get out of hell for whatever reason. There was a butterfly on the door, and she smiled, remembering the other person she screwed over in hell by taking the dialethea and any chance she had of getting out of hell away. Which she achieved what everyone in hell was trying to do. Elspeth was the actual winner and protagonist of this entire story. She should trash what we read and write a whole story about Elspeth, and I will read it. Because I found her the most compelling character. She was very competent. She had her stuff together. She was like a hell pirate going up and down on her little thing. It was cool. Visually cool. And she was good at magic. What did the butterfly mean? Symbolically.
Elspeth was just really
Metamorphosis?
happy and proud of Alice's accomplishments in the end.
I'm here to watch you get out. Like,
I have no
I
idea.
took it as metamorphosis, like because like
yeah,
a
yeah,
butterfly.
The butterfly, yeah. I can get that.
You know what I mean? Because like a butterfly doesn't start out as a butterfly. You have to transform into the butterfly. So like,
Can there be a
I
more
mean,
cliche symbol of like growth and change than an
I
actual effing
didn't write
butterfly?
it.
Like I'm not
I
like
didn't
we're
write it, man.
if we were going for literary here and we're going to symbolize metamorphosis with a butterfly, like this is like my 9-year-old
Okay,
daughter's like
but
creative writing skills.
we're also you have to remember we just read an entire book that was like, but why? The entire book was like, but why?
I know. I
He was like,
So
know.
like,
I know.
so like, I'm not saying it has to make sense or it has to be profound. I'm just saying that sometimes the most obvious answer is the answer.
But accepted. Can we, for a second, recognize that R.F. Kuang is a smart and talented author with lots of support?
100%.
Yes.
Absolutely. And so when I look, I mean, there's lots of stuff that she's done that's widely recognized as successful. So whenever I ask these questions that seem like, I'm being a little facetious in like I'm not asking this to ridicule her, because I think that if I had as much talent as she has in her pinky toe, that as an author, this woman is like, I take her seriously. And so I look at this and I ponder it because I know she's intelligent and I know she meant something and I know she was thinking about something, and I'm trying to learn. Like, I'm going to school on some of these authors because I want to, like, I mean that, like, I want to be good like them
Mm-hmm.
before I die. And, I'm not going to put a timeline on it because growth happens. Sometimes you got to go to hell and back or whatever. I don't know where I'm going to go with that, but I'm not doing any magical circles, so it's going to be the old-fashioned read a whole lot and try and do better. But so I'm trying to read and I'm trying to learn from this, and I know that she meant something with the butterfly on the door as she exited hell, and because it was a very like symbolic moment, like right off into the sunset type of deal. So.
Well, like I also like by growth, like for me, it's also like, okay, well, you also like you faced all these demons that you had within yourself, that you had in your life because of you were losing your humanity in the process to find knowledge,
Sure.
and then you come to hell and you still continue to fuck over people in hell,
All the way
and it
up to
feels
the end.
like all the way up to the end. So I also think like that's a last little reminder, like you may be leaving hell, but you're not leaving without scars. You're not leaving it without this last little reminder of how shitty of a person you can be. So you now have to face the choice when you exit hell. Are you going to do better, or are you going to continue the same pattern of fucking everybody over?
Well, she left, and she used the dialethea, and like, the whole dialethea decision. This was the big character moment that like the whole book was building up to. It's like, okay, you have the ability to bargain for generally anything that you want, right? With Lord Yama, and what she chose to bargain for in this is she left behind her pursuit, or her like blind pursuit of academia, at least, and chose to be human instead of being wholly defined by her pursuit of knowledge, which I think that is the metamorphosis that occurred. That's like the character growth. Like, what did I choose to do?
Mhm.
Like, the whole book set up a choice between the pure pursuit of knowledge and humanity, and the anytime she like leaned into her choice surrounding knowledge, she was making bad decisions when she should have been looking at what does it mean to be human, and what would I make decisions if I have the compassion associated with humanity versus the cold, like, just fact diagnostics. Like whenever we go back to the red apple, green apple decision, she was trying to break down facts of what happened instead of the way that she really felt about it. And so whenever she made those decisions and put, she was doing the whole like Venn diagram about love thing, I love him not, I love him, I love him not thing. And yeah, not to say that that's bad, because I was told by my editor, like the whole Fagin song and Oliver Twist, where it's like, should I, shouldn't I? She's like, you need to do more of that. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Did y'all watch Oliver? Like, he's like,
but I have to dip out. USA
okay.
game's about to start. Till next week, everybody.
Go soccer.
See ya.
Happy
It's
reading.
almost time for me to go too for
Yeah.
kendo.
Kendo, yeah, your sword thing. Okay. We already talked about the happily ever after ending. We talked about Elspeth and the butterfly door, which I still don't understand. I mean, we talked about it, but I still don't understand that. Yeah.
Maybe someone from Reddit will have a good explanation of it.
Yeah. When you
I
don't know,
tried.
go to Reddit.
I looked at anyway. I was Googling it heavily about the opinions surrounding the romance and the happily ever after. Everyone was pretty much on the side of like, this was an odd romance, that didn't feel like it had, like, she spent a lot of time on it, so I can't say that she didn't spend time on the romance in word count. She did. But I didn't feel, I guess I just didn't feel her emotions on the turn.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I saw some of her thought process surrounding it, but I didn't feel, I felt like,
There wasn't enough there.
Just I didn't feel the progression. It was like when Khaleesi did something at the very end, where she's like, burn them all, and it's not that they didn't cover some of the events that made her upset, but they didn't walk me through the emotional progression effectively, so that's the only thing I have on that. I gave this 2 out of 5 stars on TikTok. I don't know where y'all are at on y'all's star rating.
I would say like a 3.
Yeah, three and a
and a
half.
half.
Just because
Yeah,
the ending was satisfying.
3.5.
If the ending went opposite, it would have been 2.5.
Are you a happily
she
ever
would've-
after fan?
I love happily ever afters. That's okay. I'll forgive anything if it's a happy ending.
Don't read my writing.
Great.
I did start the prologue, so
The prologue is a little bit.
I'm on prologue 2.
You got to get the actual narrative starts in 1. In my edits, the area where I want to edit the most, like the prologue is important structurally for the story, but where I need to go back and do most of the edits is in that section, because I wrote that a long time ago, that part of it, and I used too many similes, and so I need to clean that up, so it's less cumbersome. But anyway, yeah. So that one actually isn't getting that story doesn't end very sad. The book that is my main one that I'm spending time on, which is that's the prequel for that book. So Sylva's in the next book, which you haven't got to her yet. She's in chapter one, but she's in the main book, and another character becomes the antagonist of the next book, and so it's I didn't get enough time or page count because I'm limited to 120,000 words, which is like 400 pages, and like that's all you can do on a first book. And Brandon Sanderson writes 700-page books, and they're like, well, Brandon Sanderson developed his characters better than you, and I'm like, well, you have 300 extra pages to like do it, So anyway, but I gave it a 2 out of 5. I stand by it. I stand by the 2 out of 5. I think
Understandable.
I think a 3-star out of 5 means that I would recommend it to the right people. And
See, 4 stars when I recommend it
no,
Yeah.
right.
for
So
me.
4 stars
I don't recommend anything below 4.
4 stars I recommend it to like most people in the genre.
Mm,
Okay, 5 stars I recommend it to anyone who's literate. To me, like like Dungeon Crawler Carl, I would rate 5 stars because I could walk up to any person who could read and say, "I think you would enjoy this book."
yeah.
And
It's very entertaining.
there's not like a lot of people or a lot of books like I couldn't do that with Red Rising. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if y'all have read Red Rising, but like
Yeah.
Red Rising is like people within the genre who like a specific subset of fantasy or sci-fi books would really, really love Red Rising. That's 4 stars to me. But I couldn't walk up and recommend Red Rising to everyone because if you have high blood pressure, for example, it might give you a heart attack. Because I know it like I liked it, and like every time I post about Red Rising, everyone thinks that I'm saying that I hate the book because I talk about how it made me feel rage. It didn't make me feel rage because I hated the book, or it made me feel rage because what was happening in the book literally made me feel rage. Like
I know exactly how you feel.
And like
just
like what was happening made like I felt emotionally very connected with the characters, and like he wrote emotion really well to me. But I couldn't recommend that to everyone. So I'm a 4-star there. A 3-star means that like, hey, you're a genre reader. This is what you like. This is your specific subset and genre. I can tell a few people yes to read it. 1 means it's like unreadable, and 2 means like pretty much everyone that I could think of would probably say that this is a bad book. And
Gosh.
Who do you know anyone who would read? I went to Oxford. Y'all realize that, right? Like I should.
I don't know
like
anyone that would read it.
No, I don't
I
either.
don't know anyone that I could say,
Like-
hey, you should read this book, and I think that you would walk away saying, man, I enjoyed that experience. I can't think of anyone that I could say that to. with this book.
No, you're right.
But it was effectively written. It wasn't just like a completely trash book, like a 1-star, like a true 1-star. But I don't know who
It's
I could
very
recommend
niche.
it to. It's niche. It's niche in like, I can say I've spent a lot of time thinking about it and trying to understand it,
I just
especially-
finished it and then I forgot about it, honestly. It's like, I'm
Well,
done.
Same.
I'm over it.
Glad
I had to
too.
put together our topic list and the questions to ask
That's
everybody
true.
about this stuff, and so I was sitting there like, okay, what was I wondering as I went through this? But anyway, all right, I'm sure y'all have to go and watch the soccer game, football game.
Swinger swords.
Nice.
Oh, you're swinging
Well.
swords. You're not watching soccer at all.
Yeah, no.
Go hit somebody.
Well, that sounds fun.
Actually,
I will.
hit one of your kids, right?
Yeah, she's in it with me.
Oh,
This
that's
is
so
the
cute.
only time that you're allowed to beat your kids with a sword, and so.
Kind of. It mostly just hit the swords on the other sword right now. We're
Oh,
not
sure.
that
Okay.
quite that far along.
Well, it's
Eventually.
It's
Someday, maybe.
yeah. Well, you can defend yourself. Right now, my 16-year-old is stronger than me, so like you have to I have to go like work out. So I'm like, because I wonder like, could he beat me up right now? He probably could. He benches 265. Like the
You're
kid's
gonna have to
like
fix that.
like a muscle, and I'm like, I can't do it. I'm old now. Like I can't be as athletic as I used to be. So.
Yes,
Uh,
you can.
you know,
we
we
believe
just-
in
Alright.
you.
All right.
I will see you guys next week.
Next week,
See
okay.
ya.
Are we doing 8 chapters? These are shorter chapters in Night in the Moth. We were
I don't know
doing
how many
6.
chapters is the
Chapter
book.
is it?
It's
see.
not that many, but it's a. It is 31 chapters, so we'll probably chop this up pretty quick. I mean, we could do
Let's do 8. I think 8's good.
8, 16, 24, and then.
Yeah, did you see me counting with my fingers as well over here? 8, 16, 24, 30, about
So
4
we'll
weeks.
knock this
agreeing.
out in 4 weeks, which I like that pace for me because I really had to stop I didn't have to stop myself on Katabasis, but if I'd have liked Katabasis,
I had to
I'd
make
have really,
myself.
I'd have really have to work to stop myself every 6 chapters if I liked it. So anyway, we'll go.
Okay.
We'll do 8. We'll tell everyone on the chat. So thanks,
All right,
guys.
sounds
It was
good.
fun. Good seeing y'all.
Thank
Bye. You too.
See you guys.
Bye.